You are listening to Arirang Radio's Wonders of Jeju. This is a segment where we tell you about the lives of people living right here on the island. I'm your host, AK. This is Humans of Jeju. We now have Jay in the studio to introduce another humans of Jeju.
Hello, everybody. Yes. I love this. Hello, Jeju Human Jay. Yes, Jeju Human Jay.
Yeah. You are Jeju Human Jay.
I'm a human living in Jeju. Yes.
Everybody knows you as a Humans of Jay. Humans of Jay. Oh, I like that.
I love all the
shout-outs. I just made it up. Okay.
Yes.
So how are you today?
Very good. It's very cold outside.
Yeah.
Yes. You look very warm today.
Yeah, I look very warm, right? I actually had to like a hoodie in because my hair. I can't control my hair anymore.
Oh, really?
So yeah, it's just sticking out all the time. So I just
That's why I wear a hat.
Yeah.
I can't control my hair either.
Right. So we are wearing hats together.
Yes.
Okay. So let's just jump right into Jeju, like Humans of Jeju today. So who are you gonna introduce us today?
Well, first we're gonna listen to today's Human of Jeju.
Great.
반갑습니다. 저희는 여유와 설빈이라고 하고요. 제주도에 사는 포크 듀오입니다.
저는 설빈이고 방금 얘기한 사람이 여유고요. 제주도에 내려와서 음악 활동을 이어가고 있고 즐겁게 살아보려고 노력하고 있습니다.
They sound lovely, please.
Yes, so today's Human of Jeju are folk music duo, singer-songwriter Yeoyu and Seolbin. The male voice you heard is Yeoyu, and the female voice you heard was Seolbin. Living together on Jeju Island, they perform their music around the island. And most of all, another thing that they wanted to mention was that they make their effort to make an enjoyable life.
Right, so they have really lovely voice. I don't know why, but what brought them to come down to Jeju, to do their activities as singer-songwriter?
Yes, so they shared an interesting story. So should we listen to them first?
Yes, please.
제주도 되게 즉흥적으로 내려왔어요. 전국지도 펼쳐놓고 다음에 어디서 살래? 이렇게 얘기하다가 제주도도 괜찮을 것 같은데? 라고 하면서 그럼 다음에 살 곳은 제주도에서 살아보자 하고 내려왔어요. 즉흥적으로.
아마 제 쪽이 조금 더 큰 것 같아요. 모험심이나 좀 무모함? 제주도에서 살자라는 제안도 제가 했고 그리고 오고 나서 후회도 제가 했고 설빈이는 되게 제주도 내려와서 막상 적응 잘하고 잘 지낸 편이었고 저는 약간의 방황의 시기를 겪기도 했었는데 지금은 잘 지내고 있습니다.
Please.
Yes, so actually they started their singing career in Seoul. One day when they felt that it was time for them to move on, they pondered where to live and unfolded a national map. They said Yeoyu first pointed to a certain spot on the map, which was Jeju Island, and suggested, how about living in Jeju for our next chapter? So they mentioned that out of the two, Yeoyu is the one who is more adventurous. He's kind of bold and daring. So the suggestion was made from such personality. So they decided and came down to Jeju. But what was so ironic about this was that they mentioned that even though it was Yeoyu who made the suggestion, he was also the one who actually regretted the decision well. Whereas Seolbin, on the other hand, accepted Yeoyu's suggestion, came down to Jeju, and adapted very well on the island.
It seems that, despite coming down together, the two had different experiences on Jeju. I mean, it looks like it took Yeoyu relatively longer to adapt.
So they said that it was because Seolbin was doing more than just being a singer-songwriter. She was also working as a counselor at a school. The first school she was assigned to was Haewa Middle School, where the native Jeju teachers warmly welcomed Seolbin, who was very unfamiliar with the area. She said the teachers from time to time gave her crops and took good care of her. And with such care, Seolbin found it easy to adapt to the life on Jeju Island. On the other hand, Yeoyu, who had lived solely as a musician, felt the sense of isolation because he had no roots on Jeju Island. At that time, he was actively engaged in music activities in Seoul, but coming to Jeju felt like he was cutting off those connections.
Yeah.
So he struggled to figure out how to pursue music in Jeju, leading to a challenging period. However, after living in Jeju for several years, making good friends and actively participating in music activities, he mentioned that he has now adapted well on the island. Also, recently, he said that he started working at a Chinese restaurant, doing something on the side while doing his music activities.
I think
as
that's
well.
good for him.
Yeah,
right. I've heard like Yeoyu and Seolbin made their debut as musicians in 2017 with their first album 모든 어울린 삶에 대하여. In English, All Our Lives. So Yeoyu had been active as solo artist for so long before that as well. And looking at the records, he even received a special award from the selection committee. So and the Korean Pop Music Award in 2017. I'm curious, like how did they did these two start making music together?
Yes. So first, let's listen to what they said.
Great.
저는 여유를 만났을 때는 고시생이었고 서울 노량진에서 임용고시 학원을 다니면서 준비를 하고 있었던 사람이었고 여유는 그때 솔로로 활동을 20살 때부터 음악가로 활동을 하고 있었는데 저는 음악의 음자도 모르는 사람이었고 여유는 이미 음악을 하고 있는 사람이었고 제가 처음에 여유 음악을 되게 좋아했었어요. 그래서 여유 음악을 듣고 제가 떠오르는 허밍이나 이렇게 또 소리가 들어가면 좋을 것 같은데 라는 것들을 여유한테 몇 번 보내준 적이 있었는데 그때 여유가 저의 어떤 덧붙인 소리들을 듣고 같이 해보면 좋겠다 라고 했고 그때 당시에 그 홍대에 있는 클럽에서 처음으로 같이 여유가 한 6곡 부르면 제가 3곡 도와주는 식으로 이렇게 코러스를 입히는 방식으로 처음에 공연을 시작했었어요. 그리고 그 3곡이 한 5곡이 되고 5곡이 한 10곡이 되고 앨범도 내고 이렇게 된 거죠.
Oh, please tell us.
Yes, so as you mentioned earlier, Yeoyu has been active as a musician since he was 20. At that time, Seolbin was a student preparing for the civil service exam in Noryang-jin, so which is a place where Korean students preparing for exams gather. And according to Seolbin, she didn't know much about music back then, but she really liked Yeoyu's music. So she used to hum along with Yeoyu songs and even imagined and attempted to add sounds to the songs. So Seolbin recorded these sounds, these added sounds, and sent them to Yeoyu. And upon listening to the sounds, Yeoyu suggested that they try making music together. So they performed together on stage at a club in Hongdae. Initially, they said Yeoyu would sing like 6 songs and Seolbin would help with 3, adding choruses. As time passed, the collaboration expanded from like 3 songs to 5 to 10, and now they collaborate on albums together.
Well, I feel like I'm really glad that I discovered this great indie artist, just now. I mean, it's a story that makes you think about fate, right? Seolbin may not have known much about music initially, but it seems she surely had a talent.
Yes. So she didn't major in music or receive any formal training, but she said she loved singing. In middle and high school, she was part of the choir and even joined the band.
Yeah.
She continued participating in singing-related club activities. Although she didn't expect to become a professional musician, she enjoyed creating her own songs and singing even before meeting Yeoyu.
Wow. I mean, it really seems everything happens for some reason, right? And Yeoyu started his music journey at the age of 20, which is an early stage in life. How did he make such early decision in life?
So for Yeoyu, he mentioned becoming a musician kind of felt natural for him. Actually, he mentioned it wasn't like he made a decision to become a musician, but was something that naturally followed as he spent his high school years immersed in music. As he was part of a band, creating songs and performing them in front of his friends became a hobby and something he really enjoyed doing. So after graduating from school at the age of 20, he said he continued performing and even released albums. So Yeoyu has been consistently doing what he loves since he was young, from his younger days.
Wow, I mean, it's really interesting, like how these two people with similar inclinations met at a certain point in their lives. So Seolbin also created songs while participating in choir and band activities when she was young, but she didn't consider turning it into a profession. And however, meeting Yeoyu seems to have aligned their path. I guess that's why many people describes the song of Yeoyu와 Seolbin as harmonious.
Music,
News,
information,
everything about Korea.
Arirang Radio.
I actually, had a little bit of research about this duo artist. And today on Humans of Jeju, we've been talking about the story of Yeoyu와 Seolbin, musicians active in Jeju. So yeah, we are going to continue. Earlier, we mentioned their debut album, but I've heard starting from their second album, the two deepened, their collaboration, resulting the one 노래는 저 멀리 song from far away.
Yes.
So the album was released during their time in Jeju, and it seems, to evoke the landscape of Jeju when you listen to it. So they released this second album in 2019.
Yes. And their much anticipated third album was released very recently on November 1st of this year. The title of the album is 희극, which can be translated comedy.
Yeah.
So let's listen directly from them about their album first.
All right.
3집 앨범은 우선 저희가 여유와 설빈이라는 이름으로 4년 만에 발매한 정규 앨범이고요. 9곡의 노래가 수록되어 있고 저희가 살고 있는 제주도에서 출발해서 제주도에서 상당 부분 만들어지고 이렇게 다듬어진 그런 앨범이고 저희의 손길이 가장 많이 묻은 앨범이기도 해요. 3집에 담겨있는 이야기는요. 좀 밖으로 이렇게 꺼내 보이기에는 좀 마음의 준비가 필요했던 되게 자전적이고 내밀한 그런 고백들이 좀 담겨 있어요. 그래서 비밀 일기 같은 느낌도 좀 있고요. 그럼에도 불구하고 좀 세상이나 삶에 대한 그런 긍정이라고 할까요? 그런 것들도 좀 잘 풀어내 보려고 노력했던 것 같습니다.
Please tell us.
Yes, so their third album, 희극 Comedy, is the first full album released in 4 years. It includes a total of 9 songs, all inspired by their life in Jeju. A significant portion of the album was crafted during their time in Jeju, making it their most hands-on project. The third album contains autobiographical and intimate confessions that are hard to share with the world, almost like a secret diary.
Yeah.
Despite the personal nature of these stories, the songs, they are said to carry a positive outlook on life and the world. Both of them really put a lot of effort into conveying such sentiments.
Wow, I mean, intimate personal confession. It's more like, story of their personal and private life. So if you listen to, them late at night, the songs, it might, make you feel like you're facing yourself. And I'm curious about where Yeoyu와 Seolbin draw, inspiration to create their songs.
So according to Yeoyu, they primarily draw inspiration from everyday life. He mentioned that it takes him a long time to create a song. Rather than having a sudden burst of inspiration, he said he seeps into the daily life, accumulates thoughts over time, and lets ideas gradually come. So after experiencing certain events, the ideas mature and the songs come out.
Then how do they collaborate on songwriting?
So they mentioned that they rarely collaborate on songwriting. It's Yeoyu who is the one who creates the songs. However, each of their 3 albums include one song that Seolbin personally composed. So one for each of the first, second, and third album has Seolbin composed the song.
Okay, so while all the songs, in the third album are precious, I wonder if there's a particular song they both have a special attachment to. So what's the song, they would like to share together?
So first, let's directly hear from Seolbin about the introduction to the song and reason behind it.
Okay.
저는 정말 확고하게 말할 수 있을 것 같은데 이번에 낸 3집 앨범에서 밤하늘의 별들처럼이라는 노래를 같이 듣고 싶어요. 여유가 이렇게 지은 노래인데 지금 사는 이야기를 그대로 반영하고 있는 것 같은 느낌에 다른 사람들과도 좀 공유하고 싶은 마음이 많이 들어요.
Please.
So Seolbin expressed the desire to share the song 밤하늘의 별들처럼, like the stars in the night sky. It's a song with the lyrics and composition by Yeoyu, and she feels that the song reflects their current experiences, making her want to share it with others.
So the title itself sounds like a poem, you know, right? I mean, so they have released 3 albums so far. So with several years passing in between. And as time went on, like they must have grown and changed while creating music. So what kind of changes have the two experienced?
So they mentioned there were changes in their relationship. At first, Seolbin didn't initially intend to form a team with Yeoyu. That's why in the first album, she just participated by adding some choruses. In the second album, Seolbin's role gradually increased. Then for the third album, her involvement became even more significant. So according to Yeoyu, he mentioned Seolbin's role has been growing, and currently it's actually Seolbin who is considered the leader of Yeoyu와 Seolbin.
Wow.
Also, there were environmental changes as well. The first album was created in Seoul. The second album was produced while moving between Jeju and Seoul. And the third album was entirely crafted after they settled in Jeju. As a singer-songwriter with 7 years of experiencing living in Jeju, the third album reflects the essence of Jeju in every song they created.
Wow. I mean, I saw a comment from a music critic made about Yeoyu와 Seolbin, and it mentioned about their poetic lyrics and harmonious melodies. I'm curious to know what they consider as their musical characteristics.
So they consider harmony as their distinct feature. The harmonious blend of their voices, the moment when their voices come together, is what they highlight as their most significant characteristic.
So the music critic and those who've listened to their songs seem to echo the same sentiment. And how do they come up with such poetic lyrics? It's so beautiful. And do they, like study poetry separately or something?
So there's a song called 시인과 농부, Poet and Farmer, on their third album. Yeoyu mentioned that people who he admires the most are poets and farmers. He doesn't particularly study creating poetry, but he enjoys reading poetry as well.
Wow, poets and farmers! What a unique combination. So through today's Humans of Jeju, I feel like we are getting a deeper look into musicians like whom we know only vaguely through their songs, and so and then like today we've been like discussing about like musicians Yeoyu와 Seolbin, and their names are quite unique, don't you think?
Yes.
I didn't really notice that, but now listening to these names like Yeoyu and Seolbin, it's not quite like common names we hear. Okay, so we are talking about like their third album, like Higo Comedy, released on November 1st. Okay, can you tell us more?
Yes, so during the interview, we were curious about the meaning and values behind their work and asked a challenging question, which was, if you were to sum up the values you pursue in 3 words, what would they be? So should we listen to their response first?
Yes.
이 질문이 제일 어렵다라고 하면서 막 이렇게 얘기를 했는데 처음에 떠올랐던 건 되게 거시적인 그런 가치들이 많이 생각이 났었고 어떤 이야기를 해야 좀 우리랑 제일 맞닿아 있을까 고민이 많이 됐지만 결국 이 3가지를 꼽으라고 한다면 삶, 사랑, 사랑 이렇게 3가지인 것 같다고 아까 전에 얘기를 했거든요. 여유와 설빈 노래가 이렇게 탄생하게 되는 과정 속에서도 이 살아가는 일들 또 사람을 만나고 사랑을 하고 이런 과정들 속에서 노래가 탄생을 하기 때문에 이 3가지가 가장 맞닿아 있지 않을까 생각을 좀 했습니다.
그게 추구하는 가치이기도 하지만 잃고 싶지 않은 가치인 것 같아요. 네.
Please tell us.
Yes, so they mentioned that among the questions we asked, this one was the most challenging one. However, they provided a very clear answer about it. They expressed that the values they pursue while creating music can be summarized in 3 words, which is life, love, and people.
Oh, I love that.
So they explained that these 3 values, which are their experiences, their encounters with people, and the journey of love, are integral to the process of their songs coming to life. They mentioned that these values are not only what they pursue, but also the 3 values they don't want to lose.
So, knowing what's the core, like a pillar in life, or, understanding how we place the values is really indeed crucial. Learning about their values helps us like understand why their song lyrics feel so beautiful. Do they have any rules or principles that they always adhere to when singing?
So Seolbin mentioned that she always makes sure to eat before a performance. She attributes to the power of food and singing.
That's a cute principle.
Which I would agree. So Yeoyu, on the other hand, has a guiding principle for songwriting, which is not telling lies. He strives to create honest songs based on his true inner self.
That's so admirable. What are their plans for the future?
So they plan to continue activities related to their 3rd album. They also have an important performance scheduled for November 25th at 6 p.m. at Jeju 반짝반짝 지구상회, which is Jeju's sparkling earth market.
Okay.
Cute name, right?
Yeah, I mean the sound you're pronouncing is cute.
반짝반짝, yes. Where they will hold a celebratory concert for the release of their 3rd album. The event is sponsored by Jeju Island and Jeju Culture and Arts Foundation and organized by Jeju-do Joa. Additionally, they also mentioned that Seolbin will continue on working hard as a school counselor, and Yeoyu plans to excel in his work at the Chinese restaurant as well.
Wow, I want to join that. It's coming, right?
Yes, it's
at the
coming.
end of this month.
25th.
Okay, if I have some time, I'm gonna visit them because I really want to see them in person. Okay, lastly, I'm curious to know about the place they would recommend in Jeju Island for our listeners, Camellias.
Yes. So first of all, they mentioned that their favorite place is their home, where they enjoy the Jeju air and the comfort of their yard. As for a recommended place, they mentioned the Samyang Black Sand Beach, the Samyang 검은 모래 해변.
Yeah.
Instead of going into the beach, they mentioned they enjoy driving along the beach and stopping at a spot where they can park their car. And they find it very delightful to spend time there.
Oh my God, what a romantic! I want to see them. Oh my God, I really, I love listening to, the story of Yeoyu as Seolbin, this duo. And yeah, I wonder what's coming up next week. So I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'm going to see you next week.
Okay, see you next week.
Well, I hope you enjoyed the segment. If you're curious to find out more about Jeju, we encourage you to go check out our website at arirangradio.com/Wonders of Jeju, or you can check out our Facebook page at Wonders of Jeju, as well as our Instagram account at WOJ_Arirang. We are going to take you on a journey to learn more about what's happening on this island.